moderate sound. One moment, everyone. First stream. Working out some. Okay. You guys, the volume is quite low, you say. Okay. See, that's the kind of stuff we're trying to work out right now. First off, let's make sure your volume is turned up on your end. That's very important. And I am going to adjust my mic settings as well, just to make sure it is turned up. Oh my, no wonder. Okay, that should be much better. I don't know why, but my mic was set down to like 27 for some reason. Is that better? Really quickly, sound off, everyone. Let me know if the volume's coming through. You're getting video. Audio is going in and out. What is going on today? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to trash this noise gate filter for right now, and we'll just leave the filter off, and we'll fix that later. So first and foremost, welcome one and all. Welcome one and all to the stream. My name is MacX3D. I am the new community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. This stream today is a preview to our upcoming update, Abandoned Ruins, which you guys have been seeing lots and lots of posts and teasers about on our socials. Perfect. Thank you for all the info on the audio and video. I appreciate all the feedback, everyone. Welcome one and all. See we got Karin here. Carl, are you still here, my man? We've got one of the devs here actually gracing us with their presence, and just a heads up to you all. These notes that you actually see on the screen are actually the patch notes that will be on the upcoming patch. So you can see a lot of information here, right front and center. So I would actually like to take a minute and go through these. But before I do, audio is fine for you. Now just a bit of background info here, Sean. So this update we're hoping to release near month's end. That's the plan at the moment. If the stream is hanging or having issues, make sure you refresh. There's about a 10-second delay between you and me, so that's pretty normal. Cool. Now, I have a request of everyone. Can you please like and share the stream so we can boost its presence on the Facebook algorithm and get it noticed? Also, at the bottom of stream, there's these little like heart loves, yes, those little thumbs up that are popping up over chat. If you guys click those throughout the stream, regular flow of those really helps our presence. And seeing as how this is our first stream, we want to get the word out, you know. So if you could help out with those, I would appreciate it very, very much. So wow, we've got a great amount of people here already. 29 people here present already. I just want to say thank you for you all, showing up to this momentous occasion, and let's just get right into it. No more dilly-dallying and silly-sallying. So, as you can see here, version 1.1, the big break update. You can now change the terrain of an existing map by going to the terrain menu and clicking the appropriate tab. You can also use this feature to generate a new terrain for the same type. So, let's say you were building a map in dark parchment and you wanted the terrain editor. Well, now you can shift to a terrain type and be able to do that in the middle of the map without having to start a whole new map. So that is incredibly useful for us cartographers. And I don't know about you, but I think that's an amazing new feature. So props to the dev team on that. You can resize the map by dragging the arrows around the corner of the map. So this has been a very much asked for, begged for feature. And yeah, now you have that. You can now resize the map at will without having to use the delete box feature. You can now choose the height of rooms on your map from 3 settings when creating a new map. This allows you to place rooms on mountaintops. There's still only one height for all rooms per map, though. So, typically, up till this point, you could only be at the water layer, which is the middle layer of the map. As many of you are aware, you can only build on the middle layer. And unfortunately, that, could cause some issues. And if you wanted to build up on the top of, say, a mountain or below that layer for any reason at all. So with that in mind, now you can build, sorry, I'm looking at 2 different screens here as I'm going over this information. You can actually, build on the top of a mountain or maybe build a temple at the peak of a cliff or something. Just a quick heads up, is everyone hearing me just fine? Are we getting all this information? I wanted to make sure that I wasn't talking to myself. The upcoming info I'm about to read is one of my favorite new additions. You can change the light color and intensity by selecting the light and clicking the pencil button. So you can now, any lamp or light fixture you place on your map, you can click it and adjust the color through a variety of different filters and the intensity. Lots of people have asked for this, so that is now a feature you can get. That is very impressive, actually. Being able to change your lights all around your map will add a lot of tone. Thank you, Nicholas. I'm glad you're excited. Glad you're all excited for this stream. Added object brushes. This is another one of my... Oh, wait, no. You can now attach lights and other wall forced objects to pillar, column, stairs, and other all walls. So I actually requested this when I first joined the community a few months back, and I was like, why can't we put lights on pillars? And now you can. Now you can. So you can add lights to various pillars, round structures, rocks. I mean, lights should be able to go anywhere a sconce should be mounted, right? So, or hung or anything like that, right? Next, object brushes. You can now spawn large amounts of trees, foliage, treasure, and other fun stuff by going to the appropriate tab in the objects menu and dragging the mouse. Thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate that. Honestly, this is my first, stream as the community manager on this channel, so I'm arguably a little bit nervous, but I do have a lot of experience streaming. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm actually a partnered streamer here on Facebook, and I have my own channel under the name MacX3D, but I'm not here to promote myself. I just wanted to give you guys a bit of background info about myself so you understand what, my experience in this. So, back to those brushes. So, yesterday I posted a post where it showed a bunch of bones inside of a little sacrificial pit. Those bones, is one of those brushes. You can just brush out tons and tons of bones. It's an amazing tool, and it saves you lots of time when you're trying to put out, say, trees or ruins or broken pottery, etc. We'll go through those later. So added a border setting to the export. Added an erase object button to the new tab in the objects menu so you can quickly delete objects with a brush and just kind of go over the map and wipe it out really quickly. It's really helpful. Added a border setting to the export menu. You can now export with a smaller border. So typically we have this black background that's on these the border of all the maps, and if you print, that's a lot of ink. It's a lot of ink. So we heard you guys saying, hey, can we get rid of this border, as well as, it kind of breaks immersion in VTTs. I've seen it in Foundry where the shadows hang off a lot, so being able to constrain this border some before you export will definitely help with immersion and help, save on ink. So let's see here. Added color scheme, setting to the export menu. Actually, really quickly, raise of hands. How many here print their maps? I'm just curious how many we have that are printer, that do just they'll make it in Dungeon Alchemist and print it out for tabletop play. I would just like to see a raise of hands in chat. Just a quick, me. that way I just have an idea, you know. I honestly haven't talked to many who print, but when I see them, I'm very intrigued by them. I know many of you will design them for your favorite VTT. So, you know, while I'm at it, let's ask, while we're up, let's ask, what VTT do you export for? What do you use Dungeon Alchemist maps for? Are you exporting to a VTT? Are you making them for commission work or, say, a Patreon? Or are you printing them for yourself? Let's start getting chat filled up with all the various uses that you guys use it for. I'd like to see this just to get a general idea of what the community uses Dungeon Alchemist for most. Cool. So we got a lot of prints, a lot of Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, Roll20, a lot of Roll20s, Boundary. Cool. So I have some, you know, I'll save it for later. Some news. We'll save it for later in the stream. Just know there might be news later. Okay, continuing. Adding a color scheme setting to the export menu so you can export in grayscale to save printer ink. Another ink saving measure. So you can actually, you know, print it in black and white and not have to worry as much. Excuse me. The print export function now exports all background tiles in the dark parchment terrain type as white to save printer ink. Spawning big objects on the terrain now deletes all foliage beneath it, so you don't have to do it manually. Let's see here. This is Carl. Thank you so much for. Can we just praise Carl? Praise to Carl for this amazing feature. Okay, a lot of you have begged for this, and I begged for it. Okay, collision toggle at the top of the object menu. If you turn this off, you can freely place an object anywhere without any snapping or collisions. Have fun breaking stuff. So, meaning you can merge objects together or put objects together that weren't supposed to. Now, if an object is supposed to snap, this will disable its snapping. So that means, you know, objects that would snap into place and like be very frustrating for us cartographers can now be disabled for that snap and be placed where you want. Thank you so much, Carl. Much appreciated for your hard work and efforts on this update, man. So much. And this is like not even getting into all the objects you guys are getting. These are just features. Yes, this is our lead developer, the creator of this, okay? Vim could not join us today. He's busy this evening, but Carl is gracing us with his presence. You guys, this is legit the creator of Dungeon Alchemist. So, it's amazing to have him here with us, joining us. And, I mean, honestly, if you could just, drop him some thanks. And because, I know we all love Dungeon Alchemist and appreciate it for our campaigns. Next, let's see. Added scroll wheel sensitivity setting and added refresh and delete buttons below the room you just placed so you don't have to go select room tab to regenerate the room. This is actually something I didn't know was in the update, so that's really cool. So, let's continue. Now, keep in mind, everyone, this is a beta build. This is not the final build that will be available for you on, hopefully near month's end. Is what was the time slot we're shooting for. So there is information and content in this. This is subject to change, and it might be a little buggy or weird. So just keep that in mind as we progress. That it's it's in this state. Okay. But I worked with the devs to try and get us some sort of preview that we could share on a stream because I feel it's very important for you guys to see this live in action. So let's continue. So we're going to go to new map and we're going to start in new map because I think it's important that we start there. So let's do a 25 by 25 and we're going to start with what's new. Okay, so the jungle tab has been added for a new type of terrain. Okay, so jungle is the new addition. As you can see below, there is a jungle canopy. You can select a variety of different options: hills, fjords, mountains, floodplains, ravines. Let's do a ravine. Let's check it out. You can do no vegetation or dense growth. I want to show the dense growth. And then we're going to let's do the building at plateau level. So it's a little bit higher. No, let's do mountaintop so you can really see it. So we're going to hit create. We're going to generate a new space here. Really quick generation for a new environment. Just to not make everyone feel weird while we're moving everything around, I'm going to get rid of the grid temporarily. So here we have a jungle ravine with a bunch of new different asset types. Let's start with, you see all these different plants. You have, birds of paradise, various different jungle plants and canopy. We have moss as a paintbrush and moss rocks, so you can really give that feel of like it's been a while since anyone's looked at this, or been in this area. So off the bat, you see the jungle canopy. Does anyone have any questions about this jungle canopy generation? I'm going to jump into some objects that I think are pretty neat that I would like to start showing you guys. So obviously we've got moss-covered rocks, which are really neat. But, one thing I kind of think would be more fun to show is some of these like individual ones instead is showing you this object brush, which we kind of mentioned in the update. So you can use the eraser and you can erase whole areas quickly, clear them out for custom decoration. Let's say you wanted to add a bunch of cobwebs. Let's add some cobwebs. These cobwebs will continue adding. You can set the density, the brush size. So I like to shrink the brush size down but increase the density so it really fills in everywhere. So as you see, we've started to fill this area in with cobwebs. This is just a demonstration of how quickly you can randomly generate something of this nature. Yeah, feel free to comment, ask questions. Myself and Carl will do our best to answer them for you. But this brush will save a tremendous amount of time in builds. Now, there's only a handful of brushes available at the moment. I hope eventually there'll be more. I'm going to just Control-Z a bunch of that to get rid of it. Let's show you some ruins. You can generate, ruins, or you can make the brush much wider. Whoa, big boys. You see those big ruins? Yeah, I will show you some plants, of course. So these ones are great because they allow you to set up foliage for this area quickly. So you can generate an entire jungle, in moments, or a forest. So let's say you want evergreen here. And because the brush is so large, it tends to not focus as much, but you can, really get in there if you want. One moment here. So the object brush, I think, is one of the powerhouse features in the next update that will save you as, cartographers and dungeon masters a tremendous amount of time. The ravine's depth is set based on the build height I chose, so it's really deep because I chose the top of the mountain. Had I chose lower, the ravine would be lower. But if you want to fill it in, you can go into the terrain brush, grab the edit terrain brush, and you can either do raise or flatten terrain to a certain point. So let's say, you want it to raise up to about here instead. So I would use flatten terrain and make it about this size and just get in there and start raising it up. As you see, it starts raising the terrain and flattening it out to that distance. Might even want to zoom in and shrink the brush up. You could also raise it up a bit more if you wanted to first, and then flatten that. So that's what I do when I'm trying to fill in a space. Yes, the webs will actually attach to walls and trees. They'll go up onto them to a degree. Let me see, I'm missing some questions here, okay? Does the brush size determine the size of the object? Yes. So I believe, honestly, this update is kind of new to me too, so let's ask Carl that. I'm assuming the brush size determines the size of the objects because it scaled up those ruins pretty quickly to a big one. So, Carl, can you confirm for us if that's the intention there, or maybe if that's just a fun benefit? Oh, they can't be attached to trees. Okay, my bad. I thought I saw it going up against the tree there. See, what I would do here, see, it won't attach, but you could just turn off the... Here. So let's say you wanted it to attach to this tree. You could, in essence, turn off collisions where it normally wouldn't go anywhere here, and then you could take it and put it up against this tree. Does that make sense? Creating that sense of, oh, there is this. Yeah, you wouldn't want giant trees. But yet again, another feature, so this is technically like a wall object, that, but if I have this right here, I can't put this here, but if I turn collisions off, guess what? I now can put these cobwebs into this bush. And I have a little bit more wiggle room in how I can, display this. The raise and lower speed has not been increased or decreased as far as I am aware. It definitely needs a toggle for that so you could speed it up, in my opinion. But I'm not sure where that's placed on priority. What if we wanted small ruined pieces, but using the larger brush? I guess ultimately here, if it's a problem, I mean, it only takes a few seconds to fill this area, with this brush. It's not like it's gonna save you a tremendous amount of time having that much larger of a brush. Yes, that is a brand new feature that's coming up in the new update. The collision tool allows you to merge objects together. And create bigger objects. So I like to merge rocks together, for instance, to create different rocks. And I love that moss texture on those rocks. Hey, Francis, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's continue with the questions. I'm going to take a moment and answer as many questions as I can. Yep, Matt, if you use that collision tool like I showed you, you most definitely can. Yes, let's move into some terrain types. So you got a jungle canopy here, which adds vines, as you can see kind of here. Looks like they're growing over the edge, and you can put it on the grounds here. So if there's trees, here, let's fill this in because I cleared it out and... Does it not do we not have a jungle tree brush yet? Carl? In fact, where are the jungle trees? Trees? There we go. Palm tree. You can put a couple of palms up. And then it adds to the environment here with these vines. Let's get back into the paint brushes here. We also have a moss brush. I love this new brush, by the way. So you can kind of add moss to various textures and make it feel just a little bit, more swampy. On the rocks especially, it adds a neat kind of appeal. Yes, so there's mossy rocks, and then there's also a moss paintbrush, so you can kind of fill the area in with moss instead if you prefer. So those are the two new brushes. So remember earlier we were talking about changing the terrain type? So you can actually come in here and let's say you wanted jungle, but I'm not digging this ravine. Let's make it flat, right? But with a river. So I'm going to change this terrain really quickly. And now we just changed it without having to reload a new map, which is a tremendously useful feature. We now have a little windy river. Ooh, lily pads. I haven't even played with those yet. Good question. Let's ask Carl on that. Carl, can we add moss to the ruins, or is there a mossy ruin option? I'm going to generate a room really quick. So let's go into some AI generation of the new options you have to build, and we'll see what they kind of look like. So you could do random, you could do a chapel, a hovel, a mansion, a spider lair, and a temple. I'm going to start with a temple over here in this corner. Hey, see you later, Duncan. I appreciate you being here. Remember, everyone, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure you share the stream and hit the like button at the top of chat. That way, more and more people are made aware of it. And I'll tell you what my announcement was earlier. If we can hit 50 viewers today in stream, in a concurrent viewership, meaning we're 8 viewers away right now, I am authorized to do a giveaway. So we will be giving away a copy of Dungeon Alchemist to one lucky viewer if we can hit 50. So let's hurry and do this temple. Random generation in the beta build can be a little clunky, so if it freezes or has any problems, I'm just warning you, that's probably why. Oh, that was incredibly fast. And I love that it's up on this hilltop. So this gives off this ancient temple on top of a hill aesthetic, right? Let's break out that moss brush a little bit and kind of add back some... Ooh, it's a little big, but... Anyway, let's get some vines back on this, mixed in with the moss. It looks so good. Let's see if, yeah, it doesn't look like the moss can go on these walls right directly, but let's look at the walls, because I haven't even found them all. So these are some ruin options we have, okay? Various options that would be available in the different auto builds. You see all these different wall options we can replace with? So let's say, you know what, I don't like those walls. I want them to be this, or a mixture of these. Or I just want to change an individual wall. I change this one out. All we need is caves. You know, Rick, you can actually do caves already. If you are in our Discord, by the way, you know what, I'm going to drop a link. Let's see here. Looking for our Discord link. One moment. So for those of you who are not in our Discord, and I don't mean to pull you away from Facebook or your social network of preference, but in our Discord, we actually show tips and tricks. We answer questions and provide support. We also have a community creation section, which is my favorite section of the Discord, where members, just like yourself, creators, cartographers, share their map creations for others to download and see. So on a daily basis, there's like 5 to 10 maps you can download totally free. You get the damn file. Give a damn is what we say. And you can get that damn file, or you can post your own. Also, really quick shout out while I have a moment. Hopefully that doesn't... There we go. I wanted to give a shout out to a group here on Facebook, the Fans of Dungeon Alchemist. I was invited to their group this last week, and they're a big supporter of us here. on Facebook. In fact, they're the largest group that I have found that is directly, just Dungeon Alchemist related, besides us, of course. They allow you to post your damn files there as well. Great little community. Karen runs that. I don't know if she's still around. She was going to be in earlier. But I know there's a few people from that group here. Just a quick shout out to them. So that Discord link there, please, please, please use it. Jump on our Discord. Join us there. It is a great place to learn and see new info. I'll announce when streams are going live there as well. We also share information there, and obviously we give a damn. Karen, you're here. Is it Karen or Karen? Anyway, I apologize for butchering your name if I did. But thank you for having me as your group, and I'm excited to watch that group grow and, see what you guys can produce there. And now back into the build. We're going to do one more AI generation because I've only been authorized to show you a couple. Okay, and then we're going to move on to objects, okay? So now you can basically, how is it that you change the room, Carl? Sorry, I'm still very much learning. There's a way to just change the room. There, this, right here. You can refresh just this room and quickly refresh the stylings on a whim. So this temple, the first one, you don't like it? There's some more. Oh, see, there was some mossy rocks and a mossy floor. So you can get creative with it and get some moss or vines in there to a degree. I appreciate that, Pepsi. We try our best to listen to the community. And now that I'm here as the community manager, we have someone who can focus on filtering your guys' needs into prioritize stuff and figuring out what's a problem, that needs fixing right away, what's something that needs to be addressed or is something you guys want, and I'm here to support you so the devs can focus on building this product. Okay, so let's see here. Where were we when this all crashed? We were going to get into objects, right? So, some new objects that are interesting. So, grandstands. So, you guys have ever seen like in a Ren Fair or in what is that movie where they do the lancing at each other? Anyway, but basically you could set up like entire tournament stands for competition and lance competitions. So, they have grandstands here with Royal Box. Here, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. They have variable staircases and things that you can attach. Knight's Tale, that is... You have been able to erase walls for a long time, yes. So let me show you how to erase a wall. I'm going to generate, you know what, Carl? I'm going to throw caution to the wind. I'm going to generate one more just to show these guys because I think they deserve to see one more little preview. So I'm going to make a hovel over here in the corner, okay? The auto generation is the part that's going to be mostly all better for the update. But this is just a rundown cabin in the woods, let's say, a hovel in the woods. And it looks like it's a little worse for wear. So let's say you wanted to erase a wall. You can go into the place wall tool over here on the left, and you can hit the minus wall button. And then you highlight the wall you want to delete and simply left click on it. Now, if you want to delete many walls, you hold your left click while you scroll across it, and it'll keep deleting said walls. If you lift off of a wall, you have to click left click again. It's pretty easy to do, though. Oh, definitely can. So, I actually posted a temple image the other day on our Facebook. Let me link that for you guys so you could see kind of one with a little bit of a staircase in it. I'm going to share that post in chat. This post I posted the other... Oh, no. God. Got deleted. There we go. I forget that I can post on the Dungeon Alchemist account. So that there will actually, if you open that in a separate tab, that goes to a build I did with a temple with a broken staircase in front. And I will show you those assets right now. So we're going to get into some stairs here. There's actually quite a few broken stairs that you can add in. Now remember, if you use the collision off, you can put them wherever you want for the most part. Looks like that one's snapping a little bit still. So if you look at that from an angle, it just looks like the stair is slowly collapsed to rubble. You could add some rocks around it here. So let's say we went into objects and then nature, go to rocks, and let's add, no, that's a big stone. Let's add some varied rubble around. And then we could go into this brush here and do some rocks. We'll do a smaller brush size. And oof, those are a little big. Just kind of looks like maybe it collapsed. You get what I'm saying here. Let's look at some other stairs here. In fact, I'm just going to delete this. Turn this back into foliage there. So notice that was actually a plateau build that wasn't a full mountain, so it was raised up about a middle way. So the middle layer right here would be where the water is. Back to objects here. So we showed spider webs earlier. We've showed some rock walls, moss-covered rock walls, Ross-covered mock walls. My bad there. Wall plants. These ones are actually pretty fun. We used to only just have like these couple ivy options and they were limited to walls only. Now that you can turn collisions off, you can actually put them anywhere. So you can rotate them and put them on, you know, a rock or a wall facing out, you know, somewhere that isn't necessarily a traditional wall. You also have these overgrown vines that you can add to different environments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just build a quick little hovel here again. And then we'll go into objects, we'll add this this vine that has been kind of slowly overtaking this area here for a while. You can resize it. And now it just kind of looks like it grew onto it. Let's add a little bit of ivy here on the inside. And notice I don't have the snapping on, so I can put that on any surface. Whereas typically you would use this and it would snap to a wall automatically like this. That is a good question for Carl, if he's still present. I would not know that, unfortunately. So we have this new palm tree, obviously, as a new type of tree, and a bunch of new plants that are from, you know, jungle-type environments. We got this Venus flytrap, which is just amazing work. It was it was Vim that made this, right? Is it moving? Oh my, it is actually moving. Yeah, there's some dead trees up at the top when we were in the trees earlier. There's some logs. I would like a lot more variety, to be honest, but there's a few, and there's some stumps and stuff as well. Okay, so that's the answer we get for today on the water. And, you know, considering all the information we've gotten today, that's acceptable, I think. We got some water lilies, which, you know what, won't go there. Let's turn off this collision and put it where I feel like. Caution be damned. Anyway, so a lot of new jungle-themed plants and assets to give you that temple or jungle feel. Look at that lily. Put that on a water there. That looks really pretty. Okay, let's move on here. So some broken tables and furniture types. Scale that down because that is just obnoxiously huge. And as you scroll through, ooh, this is another cool one. We've got this burning pyre beacon here, and we talked about lighting effects, right? Let's change this to a purple fire that is super bright, or maybe not that bright. So you could do this same lighting effect with any light you can add around the map. So let's say you wanted to add, a candle on the wall here. Change it to red. Can buildings, ruins go below the water level? Yes. To some extent. You can place certain objects below the water level and build kind of makeshift buildings. And I was going to get into them very soon. So we've been kind of going through all these structures. So you have these ruins that are all throughout, like these broken staircases and stuff. Let's turn collisions. In fact, you know what? I'm going to just clear this area out so we can see a bunch of objects. Just like a clean slate here. So a lot of varied ruins and structures. So broken planks, broken platforms, broken columns and pillars, collapsed columns. Honestly, this is our first stream on this page. And I know most people prefer Twitch for streams compared to, say, Facebook. I think considering our first stream, this is amazing support and viewership. We have had hundreds of thousands of people come through here, and we've kept 40 plus viewers for the last 40 minutes or so. I am honestly astounded at the amount of support we've had on this first stream, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So, Eduardo, we're hoping to push this patch out by the end of the month. And remember, this update will be 100% free. It'll go to Steam, and you just update, and you'll get access to all of this varied content. So let's keep looking through these debris, very debris, as they say. We have piles of stones, walls of all kinds. These are my favorite right here. You could build these into like a huge staircase. So let's say you take a few of them, stack them up like this, right? Let's turn collisions off. Then you can make like a cascaded stair here. Just stuff like this that's kind of fun. You can get creative, or heck, you can make a whole ziggurat out of these. Just stack them all up. I'd imagine someone getting really creative with that. Here. But you see how quickly I can just throw these up. Instant pile of stones. Exactly, and you can make it much larger if you wanted to make a much larger temple. So that's an interesting way you can do that. You can also, you've got these neat little collapsed staircases that you could put into like the ground or above ground, so you could simulate like a pit going under something. Ooh, we found this little hole in the middle of nowhere, right? Stone platforms. So you can get really creative with these objects in how you lay them out and create all sorts of different, structures. Let's get into stone construction here. There's a lot in here. Now, these ones are really cool. You can place them in water. So let me just show you how that would work. I am going to put a bunch of water right here, right? And then you could put this object in said water. Now, since we're already pretty low, the water is also kind of low. Let's make this hole a little bit bigger, actually. So you could take this object and drop it down in the water and stack several of them up. So it's like ruins in the water. Hey, Vim is here too. Look at that. We've got Vim and Carl here. Welcome, welcome. I wasn't sure you were going to make it. Vim is the another dev. The only two devs on the team are Carl and Vim. These guys are make the magic happen. Vim does all the art, and Carl does all the the developer coding side, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly, you guys, what you do is beyond me, so I apologize if that is an oversimplification. But they are very talented, amazing individuals, and they're the reason you guys have Dungeon Alchemist. Well, I mean, you guys are the reason, too, for supporting the Kickstarter, supporting the community, but by and large, welcome, Vim. Appreciate you making it. So you can stack these objects and make, abandoned ruins in the middle of nowhere. Or in a water, So raise of hands, who is here from our Discord? So, got quite a few here from our Discord. Raise of hands, who is here from Facebook? So you guys are following us on Facebook, or you came from the fans of Dungeon Alchemist group? Anyway, you get the vibe I'm creating here with this. Look at all these people. So, if what I'm thinking you're getting at with Tabletop Simulator is you're wondering if you can export these maps in 3D to Tabletop Simulator, and that is not something you could do if that's the question you're getting towards. Our maps export in this top-down type manner. I'm just looking at that fire pyre, and it looks like a magical effect in the export. That looks really cool with the blue lighting on it. So this is like, the pyres of Gondor when they're like lighting up the beacons to signal that Gondor's calling for aid, right? But anyway, it looked really cool, like a magical symbol or something, or like an effect from the top down. We have so much diversity here. So who's here from Twitter today? I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being a part of this stream, for joining us, for making sure that you're submitting feedback in our Discord or on Facebook. You're letting us know about bugs. You're letting us know about features you want on our upvoting. In fact, I'm going to share that link really quickly. So the devs have decided that going forward, we will be using upvoting to track object, feature, idea requests. Upvoting also has a roadmap, a tentative roadmap on it, where you can follow information. So basically, if you use that link I just shared in chat, that allows you to see our roadmap, see what people are suggesting, vote on suggestions, and make your own suggestions to be voted on. I highly recommend you join that community and start, posting your ideas, or look and see if other ideas are already there, and upvote them. So the devs, so Carl and Vim will see that this is interesting to the community and it will become a priority. I've been told that they pay very special close attention to the upvote. So if you want your voice to be heard, that's one of the main ways to do it. Highly recommend that. Sweet. So much diversity in our chat today. We have people from all across the board, Facebook, Discord, Twitter. It's great that you guys are all here showing your support to our first stream and our sneak peek reveal of Abandoned Ruins. So now that you guys have seen a little bit of Abandoned Ruins, what is your initial impressions and thoughts? I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking so far after you've seen all this info. Ooh, yeah, let me show you one other thing that I know lots of people will be interested in. We heard you guys wanted rounded walls, so we rounded them up for you. So, in just a few seconds here, I have a rounded room. Personal request for this, because I would love it if these could stack. Do they stack? They do not. Carl, if we could get these to stack, it'd be awesome to be able to make like a tower type structure and do like some cool theater of the mind type shots from a distance where it looks way tall. You know what I mean? But that's just a personal request of mine. I don't know how many other people would like that, but can I fix the upvoting link? What's wrong with it? Let me try something else. You click on the link, open the web page it goes to, and you can register there, and you can see various parts of our roadmap and vote on different feature requests and make suggestions. So back to the build. Curved walls. You've asked for it a lot, and you're getting it. You're getting curved walls, whether you like it or not. I actually posted a build with some curved walls yesterday where I filled it with all these bones. Them bones, them bones. Them bones. Anyway, just kept filling it with bones and made it a sacrificial pit. I think it's kind of neat. I know everyone is very eager and excited to get it some curved walls. These are not an AI-generated curved wall. Keep that in mind. It is an object, so you can place them and set up kind of basic rounded structures for now, at least as a kind of stopgap that will allow you to get some basic round features for now. Let's see here. Hold on one moment. Okay. Well, right now, the brush density tool actually does quite a bit. You can do various different types of foliage, jungle. You can do trees from different forests. And it generates like that whole forest type. Here, let me clean this. There's also the eraser, which saves you a tremendous amount of time in clearing out objects like this. So let's say you just want to wipe a map out so you can go through and play with it. This is how you do it. Let's go through and generate some forest here. Mushrooms. But as you can see, it doesn't take long to make an environment fill up quickly. This would take, quite a few bit of time to just fine tune an environment like this unless you just accepted the randomly generated AI in the beginning. But now you could have this, filled up in a mere seconds, as you can see. So right now, you could do like a floor tile underneath if you wanted to, and then you could disguise the outside with like objects or rocks so you could cover those rounded floor tiles that stick out. What I do inside of a round structure, actually, let me show you what I recommend. Just a personal preference. So let's say you build a quick round structure. Then you can take your paint terrain brush, and there's a couple brushes, one in particular, and I wish there was more brushes that do this, that at least give you some versatility in this manner, but this particular brush here looks like a stone floor, like a castle. And if, you fill that in a little bit, you can also come back in with a smaller brush and get around the edges here and really fill it in and get rid of everything. So for right now, if you get a little creative, or you're willing to make a couple of concessions on round walls as they're not AI generated and there's no, round tiles to match it, you can have certain objects or floors like this to a degree, if that makes sense. Oh, awesome. So there we go. See, look at this. We will eventually have rounded ones to match, but in the interim, you could do something like this. Just fill that with dirt, and then we'll go back over it. Or fill it with stone. That way the cracks aren't filled with grass. Then you come back over it with this one. So as you can see here, didn't take long to give a semi-acceptable stone floor there. Alternatively, if you want to get somewhat creative, let me show you what another option for how you could do this and pull this off. Let me clear out some space here so I can work. So let's just hurry and generate a building. Let's generate a small hovel here. That's a square. Right? And then we're going to go through and delete the walls here. And we can also go through with the object brush and wipe out all these objects just to make it look cleaner. I'm going to go back into the rounded walls here. So now we have a little bit of overhang here, but you have a nice floor inside. You could get creative with objects like these stones, for instance, or rocks or foliage. Here, let's pull up some ivy. That oughta. The ivy would be great for this. So if you get creative, you could hide that to a degree. So, and ultimately when it's in a top down, this is what your people will see. So if you're able to hide this on the outside for the export, it'll look perfect in an export. Does that make sense? Yes, vines as well. So we've got a few options here, but you see how well I concealed that in just a few seconds. Let's grab one of these stones here. We could rotate it. Maybe a bit of dirt. So, I mean, if you are willing to make a couple concessions on stuff, you could definitely hide it. Another thing to consider is doors, which I was talking with Vim about this earlier. And it's going to be a little tricky to put a door onto a rounded surface with the existing doors unless you use the wall underneath to just put a door. Does that make sense? So you could, for instance, place a door here, like an arch. Maybe. Oh yeah, I got to put some wall back. I deleted it all. Sorry guys, it's I've been up since about 5 a.m. preparing for this, so I'm a little out of it at the moment. Why won't it let me place? Let's just put like a wood one here. So let's say, we put this wood right here. And then we change that wood to a door. And then you could kind of link it up to some degree, or even put a little box here. Let me delete this one. I'm not liking it already. I had an idea of how I would do this earlier. So you could take, say, this structure and add a little bit to it right here, like that, like a gatehouse or something, right? Oof, it deleted it. I'll probably have to put that back here in a second. And then we make this be something nice looking, like a cool little castle. And we go to objects and delete this door, delete this door, delete this door, delete this door, delete this door. Let's change the floor to like a neat stone pattern here. And let's get a door that's like a neat double wide arch, or a gate of some sort. So it's like, that's your gatehouse entry point to your tower or something. You can get creative with it. You could also put this right up against that, like that, and also, delete these walls. So now it kind of looks like there's an entry point there, and you have all sorts of different, doors you could put here. So now on this level, obviously it's not open, but from a top-down export, this looks, great. This looks fantastic. We can also delete some of these floor tiles here. I hope that doesn't delete that wall. It did. Okay. Well, come on, man. Oh, well. You get the idea. So if you do it in a certain order, you can at least get yourself a rounded tower to some degree that looks pretty acceptable from a top down. I think that looks pretty decent, and fill that up with some various gear here, and you got yourself a nice little, a mage's tower or a watchtower or something like that. So the rounded assets, although limited at the moment and are new, they're a work in progress, but we'll have more to them eventually. So just keep that in mind. Do we have any other questions about the rounded assets? This is very true. The automatic import, actually, I don't know. Will these walls export to Foundry? Vim or Carl, do these rounded walls export the blocking data, the line of sight data? The only thing that may need to be adjusted is you might need to cut a space in it there if it is automatically, or you would have to draw it in like Foundry around this space if it isn't. So worst case scenario, you have to hand draw this circle in, like Foundry around this thing with a few points to block it off and make a custom door space, or... They don't right now? Okay, good to know. So these will not automatically export, but it shouldn't take but a few seconds to add the wall data there. So, not that bad. Okay, so, I feel like we've covered quite a bit today. We still have a couple streams before launch where I'm going to share some other stuff. So let me see how long we've been live here really quick. We've been live for just under an hour and a half here. So, I was planning on getting about an hour on this stream today. And honestly, we got a little bit more time in than I was anticipating, and that's great. I was very excited to share this build with you all and showcase it. Yeah, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, most of them allow you to quickly add wall data with just like dragging around some dots. You put some pin like dots and then it attaches lines between them. So it shouldn't be relatively hard to do this, to accomplish it. But now that you guys have seen a lot more of what's to come in the Abandoned Ruins update, I hope you guys are as excited as we are to get it out to you. And I know we've been teasing a lot and showing a lot of little these FOMO type posts, and you guys are like, we want it now, but it is coming. Ooh, is that new? I haven't seen that before. Is that a new object? Or is that something from Kickstarter? Sorry, I have no idea if this stuff is new or Kickstarter at times. Anyway, I appreciate every one of you coming to the stream today, showing your support. This is the first of many, many streams we will be having, including Dungeon Alchemist Mondays, i.e. Damn Days, where I will be showcasing community builds on the stream those days. And in addition to that, we will also have streams like these where we'll showcase upcoming, pending patches and updates, so you can get a sneak peek of the content and what's to come. I also will just do random build streams, kind of like where we have a chill, kind of relaxed AMA where you guys can ask questions like this and watch me build. And hopefully I can convince one of the devs to join me on one of those AMAs so they can answer questions as well. And maybe it can be like a chill podcast type session. That's the goal for these streams. We also will eventually be moving to Twitch and be streaming at both locations for convenience. So sometimes here, sometimes there. Never both at the same time, because I don't like dividing my attention across multiple platforms in one stream at the same time. It tends to be problematic. And honestly, considering this is a beta build, we only had that one crash the entire stream, really, on the same spot of the map. I think we had a really good stream, had a lot of information and cool things to showcase, a lot of, fun information to share, including the patch notes for all the features. If anyone wasn't here, I will quickly pull those up again so you can see them. We went over these in the beginning of the stream. I'll leave them up one more time for anyone just joining, so you can kind of see them quickly. Nicholas, I would love that. Please stream. If you guys want to stream Dungeon Alchemist, do it. We're in the process of getting the Dungeon Alchemist listing and channel. So, bear with us. If in the meantime you can't see Dungeon Alchemist as a game listing, just stream under like 3D art or battle maps or whatever category there may be on Twitch. It was the same crash twice in the same spot. So anyway, I really appreciate you all being here, being a part of this, sharing the stream, liking the stream, commenting all the little reactions to stuff. It means the world to me and the creators, that their product is loved and, and so many of you enjoy it. The update, like I said, end of month is what we're pushing for. So hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we should have all of this content pushed out to you so you can enjoy it. As of right now, Christopher, there is nothing on the roadmap for a future theme. We have a bunch of themes on our roadmap that were preset by Kickstarter goals that we have to work on and chew through first because they are promised to our Kickstarters. So it would at least be until most of those most, if not all of those, are done before we focus on new themes. Before I take off, is there any other questions for myself or the developers? While you have us, quick questions about the build, about Dungeon Alchemist in general. We'll try to give a quick answer for a couple minutes before we end the stream. Yeah, this is the time. Vim is here. He's actually and it's late for him right now, you guys. He's 9 hours ahead of me. So I know a lot of you are across the pond, in other countries in Europe and stuff. So it's definitely late over there. So I appreciate you being here, Vim, and Carl as well. You guys are just absolute troopers. The cyberpunk theme was not. No, it was not. You know what? I am glad you enjoyed the stream, Nicholas, and I hope you all enjoyed the stream and me in general as a streamer. I try to be enjoyable, easygoing, laid back, fun, and professional all at once, if that's a thing. I like I said, hope to do a lot more of these in the future. I felt like this went incredibly well for our first stream, incredibly well. Right? It is a time sink. I think I have like 300 hours. Hey, Rick, are you in our Discord by chance? Rick, Ryan, if you are in our Discord, I would gladly show you some cave themes that I've made using the existing assets. There is actually quite a bit you can make cave-wise using what we have already, and these abandoned ruins will add so much versatility to it as well. Let me put the Discord link up really quick for everyone as a kind of a last... In fact, you know what? I am probably just going to put up a couple links here. So if you're not following us already in these locations, you should, We also have a Reddit. And we also have a Twitter. So I mean, there is a brush for raising and lowering already. If you want it smaller than this, kind of gives off like a termite mound vibe. A little bit, huh? Too big. Hey, well, Vim, you heard it here first. They want a smaller brush than this for raising the ground. When creating a 5-foot space in caves, yeah, I could see that. I had to use the edge of the brush a lot when I was doing cave stuff. You also can use the smooth one to really quickly do subtle adjustments like that from an edge. But I get what you're saying. I haven't heard anything about VR at all at this point related to Dungeon Alchemist. I do know we have a first-person option coming through eventually, so you can walk through the builds and show them, make recordings and take pictures. But as far as VR is concerned, I have not heard of anything. with regards to rocks like that, there are, pretty pointy rocks that give you that feel already, like stalactites, etc. And these are, reshapeable, resizable, and you can merge them together to make new ones. So it's not like you are stuck with the fixed shapes of stones per se, just the color of these ones. But we now have some moss covered ones as well. But yes, I do understand what you're saying. You want to make pointier rocks or have a smaller brush for digging so it's more fine tuned in tighter spaces. Yeah, there really only is like one or two VTTs that are VR at the moment, right? Also great for a DM to kind of theater of the mind it to show like you could do like a chase scene as you're running down a hallway and record it, or like you walk into a bar and do like a cut scene of you walking in or walking into a tavern. I get you, Thomas, and I appreciate the feedback, man. Okay, I think that's everything for today. We have covered quite a bit in today's stream. I don't want to give away too much of the upcoming update. So we have some more to share, both in socials and in our next stream. But I really appreciate each and every one of you being here. Remember, if you're not already following or liking the Dungeon Alchemist Facebook page, make sure you do it now. And if you haven't shared or liked the stream, make sure you do it now. This stream will be available to watch after. You can just watch it again and again and again. It's a VOD. It'll be available for like 8 weeks on Facebook. They delete VODs automatically after that, I believe. And again, my name is MacX3D. I'm the new community manager of Dungeon Alchemist. And I'm also a partnered streamer and content creator here on Facebook. Arcana VR. Awesome. I appreciate you all being here, and I'll see you around on our Twitter, our Facebook, our Discord. If you see MacX3D in there, that is me. That is who you're talking to. That is the face to the name. Appreciate you all being here for the first stream. Thank you again. Mac out.